Hello everybody, this is Juice Weekend Matchmaker team at HomeSmart. Today I am interviewing this beautiful lady at Eakins. Let's ask her name. Let's see what she's up to. May I have your name?
Michelle D'Elia.
Okay. What do you do for the living?
I'm a paralegal for a landlord tenant law firm in Rockville Center.
How long have you been doing it?
A long time, 30 years.
Oh my God! And how did you get into that line of business?
I was originally going to become an attorney, and I got a part-time job working at a law firm when I was in high school, and I decided not to go to law school after seeing how stressed out the attorneys were, and decided to become a paralegal instead.
And you are a one heck of great paralegal. That
I
much
try.
I know.
I try.
So, what is the most common phone call you get from the landlords?
Well, lately, especially with the pandemic and stuff like that, a lot of it is landlords looking to sue their tenants for back rent, other issues that they've had with their tenants. But a lot of the times it's mostly money related.
Oh, I see.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, we always do non-payment cases throughout the year, whatever, but with the pandemic, it got even worse. I mean, there were people who owed 2 years worth of rent.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So what is the landlord's right?
So the courts were closed for a while, and so cases that were pending and starting new cases was virtually impossible. Then they slowly started to open, and we were trying to get things pushed through, and especially like in the more severe cases where we already had cases pending where tenants owed a lot of money or were doing things in their apartments that they shouldn't have been doing, and so we were trying to get those cases pushed through. So things have gotten a lot better recently, and cases are starting to come on the calendar. We've been doing cases, hearing cases and stuff like that. There are programs out there where a lot of landlords did get money from their tenants through this ERAP program. The New York State funded this program, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, for people who were, if they could prove that they were affected by the COVID, then they would be eligible to get up to 15 months of rent paid by the state of New York.
Oh,
So
okay.
that money ran out pretty quick.
I'm sure.
The program is still open and they're looking to get more money funded, but there are still plenty of people who either didn't qualify or got part of the money paid, still owe a lot of money. So I get a lot of phone calls from landlords. When's my case going to be on the calendar? When can I evict this person? When am I going to get paid? All that fun stuff.
So for the landlords, there are ways to get around it. How about the tenants? What are the tenants' rights?
Well, the tenants, for a very long time, there were holds on evictions. There was a thing called a hardship declaration that expired January 15th after being in effect for over a year. So regardless of what somebody owed or whatever, they could not be evicted. But the courts also weren't open. So you couldn't even get a warrant to do an eviction, which is what you need. You need a judgment and a warrant to be able to physically evict somebody. So we couldn't even get to that stage. We're just actually now able to get to that stage where cases are being heard, landlords are getting judgments, and able to get warrants to evict tenants who haven't paid their rent or are doing other things wrong in their apartments.
Okay, I see. And so what if the tenants are unable to make the payment because they lost the job?
Well, there are lots of programs, lots of agencies that help tenants pay their rent, or sometimes get their grants more than they are loans, and some of them have to be repaid interest-free. There's a program called a one-shot deal through the Department of Social Services, and depending on the circumstances and how much money they pay or whatever, that has to be repaid. I don't remember how long they get, but they get a long time to pay it back.
So are these programs you're talking about for New York State?
Yeah,
or
New York City. Most of it's New York City, yeah.
Oh, I see.
New York City.
Okay.
It's mostly New York City we deal with. We do Nassau and Suffolk counties and parts of Westchester County also. So it's mostly in the city because that's where most of the rent regulation is. But those programs are kind of universal. You don't have to be a rent-regulated tenant to be eligible for those programs. But most of the people that we deal with own rent-regulated buildings.
I see. Okay. Wow.
So there's just a lot more rules involved.
Right. Of course. And then can you share any like a happy ending story because you intervened?
So, I mean, I have helped some tenants. Like, I mean, sometimes you get people who call, tenants who call, that are like frantic. They think that they're going to be evicted tomorrow because they got a notice. You know, so I explained to them, I was like, no, it takes a really long time before, it does. It takes a really long time before an eviction actually takes place. You have to serve them with all the proper papers. You have to go through court. Somebody can go to court multiple times to get extensions or whatever. So if somebody is evicted, they either did absolutely nothing or they exhausted their means. And after everything that could be done for them could no longer be done for them, they were eventually evicted. So out of the hundreds of cases that we do pre-pandemic, if I did 10 evictions a year, that was a lot.
Oh, okay. That's a little comforting to hear.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's thousands of firms out there and there's thousands of people out there, so people do get evicted, but they're not throwing out little old ladies on the street. I mean, if you're getting evicted, again, you didn't pay your rent or you did something else and you did it for a really long time and then you went and did nothing about it, so you eventually got evicted, or again, you went through a very lengthy process. I mean, it could take a year sometimes to evict somebody.
Right. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing the great information.
You're welcome.
And if people want to find you, what number can they call you?
So my office number is 516-569-9539 and my direct extension is 1022 and my office is in Rockville Center.
Okay, great. Thank you so much again for the great interview.
You're welcome.